The specific suggestion was with regard to cutting the income tax for the Aam Aadmi or the middle class, and therefore putting more money in the hands of consumers. Although there is obviously a debate whether more surplus income goes into savings in India or does it go into increased expenditure, because we also have other data which suggests that when left with some more surplus income, a lot of Indians are now headed to the stock market, sip by sip, step by step. Since you spoke about the capital gains point, and this is been talked about earlier also during the year, what is the meaning of, for the benefit of our viewers, what would this approach imply, where you, and just now you also spoke about the need to fix capital gain on various asset classes, because there is a divergent approach which has built up over the years. What would you recommend as the approach?
Okay, before I answer that, I'll also supplement my previous answer because you had put a supplementary there. I think also we need to understand that not too many people in India pay taxes. While the returns filed may be going up, but there's a large proportion of people who file their returns up to the limit, say up to 5 lakhs or 6 lakhs, 6.5 lakhs, 7 lakh, up to which there are no taxes payable by them. So this would constitute about 70 to 75% of the taxpayers. So I would say that, and the middle class numbers in this country is much larger than say 1.5 crore. So I think I just wanted to also bring that perspective into that. On the capital gains, what you have said is very right. For example, today we have various asset classes, and even within the same group, say financial assets, somebody says that if you put in debt mutual funds or you put in debt directly, it is capital gains are different in the two cases, and there is a demand from the industry or from the capital market that we need to bring uniformity into this. So I think there have been various articles which say in some cases we get benefit of indexation, in others we don't get benefit of indexation. In some cases, as I told you, for 1 year, it's 1 year and below is short term, 1 year and above is long term. In some cases, 3 years and above is long term, below that is short term. So I think there's a need to think about it, simplify this so that there is no arbitrage created between financial products because there's a tax advantage. The product should sell based on its strength rather than on the tax arbitrage. So today, maybe we have created those tax arbitrage. I just read it in the papers that the industry is also saying that there's a difference in taxation between ULIPs and mutual funds. So all these things, corrections, if they are made, I think that will make it much more stable and much more progressive than what we have today.
The government over the last 2 decades has now gone into a mode where several parts of our economic policy are regulated, in the sense that there are independent regulators. Taking that into account, suppose there were to be such changes that the administrators are thinking, would it not make sense for a public discussion paper to be put out for people to offer you and the government specific opinions, rather than just sort of announce it on one particular day and then there is knee-jerk reaction, as you yourself have dealt with, and then dealt with clarification subsequently, because in the time that people hear something and they read the fine print, a lot of havoc happens. Could that not be an approach that could be explored? I'm not asking you about capital gains, but a broader...
Yeah, I'll answer you in the context of capital gains itself. I completely agree with you. So I have no arguments that we should not do it like that, because we should also consult. They are an important stakeholder for us. They are the ones who are paying taxes, as you had pointed out. So if you recall, immediately after the budget announcement last year, I had made this statement about capital gains, thinking that it will generate a debate. I'll have a few papers on my table which will give me suggestions as to what should be done. But somehow that did not happen, because there are varying interests that play, and it may be very difficult for any body to come with a consensus view of their people as to what the government should do. So at times they leave it to the government. So, but I completely agree with you, and I would say there are some small steps that the department has also taken in this regard. If you see, we have just come up with this single form, income tax form. Now there will be 2 forms. One is from ITR 1 to 6, there will be one, and ITR 7 separate. And it has never happened in the history of what I have been told in the income tax department that we may have ever consulted the taxpayer. This time we have put it in the public domain, asked for comments within a month's time, and I'm sure the people who are doing it, the officers who are doing it will have a look at that, and they give very good comments, and many a times we make changes based on those comments. Let me also say this, I have dealt with it as a policy. When we did the retrospective taxation, we came up with a small legislation which was there. But then the rules had to be framed, and the devil lies in the details, the devil lies in the rules. So I can undo in a legislation through the rules itself. So those rules also, I was very categorical that we should consult the stakeholders for whom this whole thing is built. I should not tell them that you have to run the Himalayas in 24 hours and only then will you get this benefit that has been announced. So what you're saying is absolutely right, and more I think the department will keep doing that.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.